This brother Tim. I'd like to welcome you to my 2012 show. Supposedly the last show, because the world's supposed to end. Ha, ha, ha. Well, shit, I'm up and I'm kicking it. I don't see no zombies out and shit. And I'm about to have a good time, regardless of what goes on. But, hey, I like to thank all those people that's tuning in and checking me out. You can hit me up on my Twitter feed. You can hit me up on Facebook. You can go to GiamiJourney.com. You can also send in comments that way. On the left-hand side is the radio broadcast. It's up under the Giami Journey. It ought to start playing automatically when you click in. You can also go to my Tumblr site, Giami Journey at Tumblr.com, or however they do it. You know, look me up. Send in some comments. Also, you can send me some texts. I'll be able to get them and receive them right away, right up on my screen. And you can hit me up at 614-594-9422. Now, before we get started, of course, you know I got to send out shots to those things that I love and those things that show me love and help me out on my journey. First off, I want to send some shots out to OxyWater, the world's first oxygen-enhanced mineral water. OxyWater can be found at a store near you. They got OxyWater Black, which happens to be my favorite, but it's kind of hard to find because, you know, it's in such a high demand. They got OxyWater Pink. They got Cherry Pomegranate, Island Citrus, Passionberry. Go to www.tryoxywater.com. I'm coming to you live from my hideout at the Shisha Lounge, 2369 North High Street. And I'd like to thank them for allowing me to share this time with y'all, you know. We always got to give out shots to those that support us. Also, I want to send out shots to Orange 82, their electronic music label, and they provide me with my entrance and exit music on most occasions when I'm able to do my live shows like tonight. So check them out at www.orange82.com. Also sending shots out to Unidaji Capoeira, headed by Monitor Dentista. They got locations in Cleveland, Columbus, Dayton, Toledo, all those in Ohio. They got one in Chicago. They also got one in Decatur, Madison, and Alabama. Let me stop saying they. Let me say we have schools all over. So get at us and check us out. Also, I want to send some shots out to New Harvest Cafe. I'm going to start broadcasting live there on Saturday nights from the jazz event. And hopefully we get some nice live jazz going and popping off and be able to entertain the listeners because, you know, this is what I love to do. Also, check out my books. You go to www.giamijourney.com and you get hold of one of my books and check out what the journey is about. I have the Player's Pyramid, which is my #1 seller. I also have the Giami Journey workbook, which is a real good piece in helping you develop who you are. Also, I have the Lost Art of Storytelling, which is a book of tales that I have written. Some I've written, some I have adapted, and I got another version of that coming out real soon. So be sure to check out some of those books. So I'm waiting for my correspondence, and nobody got back with me yet, but I got family in Chicago, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Cincinnati, New Mexico, California, Puerto Rico. I got some in Ghana, Accra, Ghana, you know, and I guess nobody is hitting me up because ain't shit happening. It's 12:04, and we still alive and kicking it. The planet ain't blow up. I don't see no aliens running down the street. I don't have a zombie alert, so I'm cool. I don't see no news flashes popping up on my screen, so it look like we good so far, but we still got to make it through the day. I'd like to thank all those people out there listening, and of course, I want to send some shots out to Spreaker. I would encourage everybody, get you a Spreaker station. And as well as a blog, so that you can start letting the world know what's on your mind, when it's on your mind, so that you can share the information that you have, because you never know what the information you have. You never know how it may affect somebody or how it may help somebody. So I'm going to start this show with a little music. This is from REM. I know some of my listeners are going to be like, what the hell? REM? But you know, I'm eclectic, and this music fits the occasion. So check it out. It's the end of the world as we know it, yo, and I feel fine. Shit, I feel good. I'm sitting up here at the Shisha Lounge at 2369 North High Street, just kicking it, got a hookah in my hand, waiting for my coffee to come out and to get into the subject matter at hand, the end of the world. Welcome to the end of one world and hopefully the beginning of a new one. Now, let's talk about this shit that's supposed to be happening. Now, first off, all respect due to the Mayans, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect intended, and hopefully it ain't taken. But hell, they couldn't predict the end of their civilization. Shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and, you know, let's look at some of it. Now, for the Mayans, it was on the calendar, they called the age of Ba'atum. And this is basically the end of what they would call a Ba'atum. And it was supposed to happen December 12th, 2012. And it marks the end of the Ba'atum. It's a 5,125 year cycle. And it's in the Mayan long calendar. It's the Mayan long calendar. What a lot of people don't really understand is that the Mayans had several different calendars. And the one that we basing it on, you know, is kind of problematic because the calendar tells and says that the world began 3,114 BCE, August 13th. Now, the calendar started for them on August 13th, 3,114. But it's supposed to end 2012. Now, obviously, there is some misinterpretation or some wrong ideas. Because we know that the planet is older than 3,114 years. And we know human beings have been on the planet longer than 3,114 years. So people are plugging into stuff that they have no understanding about. People are making predictions. They're claiming certain things. Aliens are supposed to come. Motherships are supposed to be coming out of mountains. Tidal waves and destruction. Hell, we got enough chaos going on. If you know what I mean, and I'm telling you this, I know the bills ain't gonna stop. Shit. So I'm not really pressed about this shit. You know, I done been through this shit several times. Anybody read my blog? I'm very cynical about this type of shit because I have been through at least 3 apocalypses in my fucking life. Now, how is that possible? I had a personal apocalypse where the nigga shoot me in the face. I had another apocalypse in 1999 going into 2000. And hell, the whole time I was coming up, Russia and America was supposed to go to war. That shit was supposed to happen, you know. And last but not least, since I grew up in a Christian household, Jesus was supposed to be coming back. So I grew up in apocalypse, so this shit don't even faze me, you know. Just in case I got a machete in the truck and shit, but, you know, because I know it's going to be straight hand-to-hand combat, you know, because I can get to a motherfucker before he shoot me. Now, I don't want to offend nobody with my language, you know, but this is my show, and I do cuss, and, you know, I hope you got your kids in bed. That's why I did the show so late, and I always try to do my shows late. But, hey, you know, feel free to come on out, join me with a hookah. I'm going to be here for a little while longer. You know, I got to go to work in the morning. Well, it really ain't work. I do something of passion, so I love it. Now, let's go back a little bit more into the Mayan calendar. Now, the beautiful thing about this whole calendar thing is that this is going to give Mexico's economy a great boost because they're expecting, or for the year 2012, you know, at least for the next couple of days, they estimated that they was going to have about 50 million tourists come to Mexico, go through southern Mexico and go through the jungle. And one, that's going to boost the economy of Mexico in several ways. First, we got the tourists coming down there spending money, staying in hotels and shit. And then, of course, you know, a couple of those rich motherfuckers was taken hostage and shit. So the Mexican underworld is making money. The Mexican above world is making money. So viva la Mexico, shit. Hey, get your hustle on. People are going down there to see the calendar and get these interpretations was strange to me. A lot of times we depend on Western thought to interpret things, so we expect things to happen like it does in Western thought. But understand, Western thought believes that we had a definite beginning and we're going to have a definite end. That's what's so scary about some of these politicians, because they get up in there with this religious Western mind frame, and I'm believing some of them is actually working towards some type of Armageddon. You know what I'm saying? Because of their fear of what's going on in the world. You know, so but then another question I have, because we do have America is on the brink of a fiscal cliff or something like that. We supposed to fall off, and maybe that's the end, But I survived Ronald Reagan, so I'm not really concerned about America falling off a cliff. I know how to live without a lot of money, So, it is what it is. So, let's go into a little bit more, because what's interesting when you look at the Ba'atum, or the age, the length of time that they say is 5,125 years. Now, when we look at the ages, because like this is what I mean, when we look at some of the ancient Kemetic calendars, they talk about there being several different type of ages and people coming and people going. Like one of my elders told me about the age of the gods, where the gods actually lived amongst the people, if there was even people, and they existed here for a long amount of time. Then we had the age of, in a sense, the demigods, or the age of those that was half gods, half humans. Then we had the age of man, which we are in now. Now, I'm thinking and I'm hoping that we move into the age of man. I'm not my fault. The age of gods. Where we back here and we have the ability to determine what's going to happen. We actually do, but that's a whole nother radio show. So let's look at the zodiac age piece. When we look at the zodiac has what they call a great year. And a great year is somewhere around 25,920 years. You break that down into 12, each age is 2,160 years. Now, according to the calendars, the Western calendar, the first age was the age of Leo, which happened 10,500 BCE, and it lasted till 8,000 BCE. This was called the Golden Age. The Earth supposedly warmed up, allowing the polar ice caps to melt. Water increased all over the globe, so this made it kind of good for human beings. But if you was living in a tropical area like my ancestors, it was just normal shit, right? So we know who they talking about. All right, we move to the age, also in the age of Leo, the oil lamp was starting to beginning to be used, so they called the Golden Age, where fire was learned. We was learning how to harness fire, and then we went to the age of Cancer, because it moves backwards for those that don't know, and this was estimated to happen somewhere around 8,600 and went to 6,450 BCE. This was the age of the Great Mother. Women, this was your time, and basically, women figured out how to domesticate animals and develop agriculture. And this was the beginning of what we know as civilization. Then we moved into the age of Gemini, which went from 6,450 BCE to 4,300 BCE. And this was the age of communication and trade. Writing started to arise in different cultures, and different nations began trading amongst themselves. The wheel was developed, and we moved on from there. And then in the age of Taurus, which came about 4,300 BCE to 2150 BCE, this was the age of stability, and great building projects happened. If you If we got any historians out there, any history buffs, this is supposedly when the pyramids and other great monuments all over the world start popping up, like Stonehenge and and buildings like that. Then we move into the age of Aries. Y'all get ready for this one. Between 2150 BCE and 1 AD, this was the rise of Western civilization. All hell was set loose. Anybody that follows the zodiac know that Aries is an age of war, and lo and behold, we got the most warringest motherfucker rise up into prominence around that time. These motherfuckers start discovering shit that motherfucker was already on, start taking civilizations and just beating up motherfuckers for no reason at all. You know, I mean, this shit's been going on for a long time. This was the age of, you guessed it, war. Learning how to harness fire and use that shit as a weapon. Bold action, that's what it's called. When you take somebody's shit, it's not called thievery. When you control history, it's called bold action. You know, when you march and take Kemet and move through Africa and try to take shit from the Indians, you know what I'm saying? Not the Native Americans, the Indians over there and shit. That's called bold action, you know. But if I was to do that shit is called crime. That's what that shit is called. Rape and pillaging. That's what that shit should be called. And from the age of Aries, we move into what they call the age of Pisces, and that's from 1 AD to 2150. Of course, till 2150. But people don't know, because some people say we're moving into the age of Aquarius now, but nobody really know. You know what I'm saying? But I do know we're moving into a new age of thought. But anyway, in the age of Pisces, that was the rise of spirituality and motherfuckers feeling guilty about the shit that they did the previous 2,000 years and shit like that. I don't see a lot of making amends. You know, I hear a lot of talk, but you know, motherfuckers ain't giving no land back. They still ain't telling what really happened in history. So that's where we at, you know. Now, we talking about the age of Aquarius, and like I said, nobody knows when that shit starts. And this is supposed to be the age of freedom and technology. Now, I got the technology. I got the free internet. But give me some, you know, now you can't give me freedom, but shit, it's time for us to start putting our heads together and figure out how to get this freedom shit. Because the world is going crazy, you know. So now I want to get to what I think is going to happen in this new age. On my blog, you can catch my blog at www.giamejourney.com. These are some of the things that I think is going to start happening. You will begin to hang in new circles. Many of the old, sad, negative friends or motherfuckers or fatherfuckers that you hang around with right now will begin to fade away. Or at least away from you. You know what I'm saying? If you've been harnessing the energy, if you've been training yourself, if you've been getting ready for this so-called new age, this new time, certain people is going to fall out your life. Opportunities will begin to pop up for you. Skills that you have been working on will begin to pay out. Projects that used to give you problems will become easy for you. Like, for example, if you a struggling writer, or you trying to rhyme, or you an athlete, or you looking at some political ventures or some business ventures, these projects will start working out for you, especially if you've been preparing yourself. You will get a new fervor for life, a strong burst of energy, because we're moving into a new time, and people with original thoughts and original ideas, like a lot of my listeners out there, you're going to be blessed by this energy. So you're going to get a new fervor for life, because a lot of opportunities is going to pop up for you. Your skill will begin to be recognized, and financially, emotionally, and spiritual rewards will begin to flow towards you. You know, me too, you know. Speaking of rewards flowing too, check out my books. Just a sidebar. All right. New insights and powerful ideas will begin to flow your way, and unlike in the past, you'll be able to articulate, write, and take advantage of these ideas. Things will seem to be too good to be true. Now, This is where you need to be aware, because if you allow the negative part of yourself to dwell um, too long on it, you start destroying your projects. Now, if you got any comments or anything, feel free to hit me up, because I'm sitting up here waiting. And if not, it's cool, because I got somebody up here that just joined me, and we're going to have a good time. Uh, so, with that, we're going to move, and I'm going to I'm gonna put on Miss Jill Scott. And this is for all y'all out there. Now, it's a love song, but, I like the title of it, I'm Not Afraid. Don't be afraid of what's coming. Fear is what the media is pumping. Fear is what people around you is feeling. In these times, fear is your worst enemy. Now, I'm not saying that you're not supposed to feel fear or experience fear, but don't let fear control you. Don't let fear hold you where you are. You're moving into a new age. It's your time, and you have to grasp it. So don't be afraid. You heard it. This is Brother Hatem. I am not afraid. Don't you be afraid either. Now, check. I'm broadcasting live from the Shisha Lounge. Kicking it. Surrounded by friends and maybe some spies, but I don't see no damn zombies. I'm gonna have to play some music about the zombies. It sounds like a failure moment. I'm gonna do that, but I might not have enough time. But here we go. Now, um, this the census people put out some statistics, and I just want to share some of these statistics that they put out. This shit is kind of hilarious to me. All right, now here we go. As if, as if I would be surprised in the black community. 41% of births in America were by unwed mothers. Wow, I'm fucking surprised. You know what I'm saying? We know it's fucking going on out there. Some of y'all just need to slow down, but it is what it is. Get your freak on. Take care of the babies. Take care of the babies. That's the major piece. I'm seeing babies coming in from broken homes all the time, and take care of the babies, even if you ain't there. Since 41% of y'all out there doing y'all thing, I'm not judging. I'm just saying. All right. Now, but check this shit out. Student debt. I had to look this shit up. Student debt. The average student debt for college is $36,809. Now, the question I have to ask, is college worth that shit? I mean, damn, you come out of college and your ass owe $36,000. That's more than a down payment on a house and a nice car. Hell, shit. Some of us might have been better to go out and get a trade. Hey, it is what it is. And that's compared to three decades ago. The average that was about $12,000. So if we average out the rate of inflation and how the dollar has fallen, it's still about the same amount. That 36,000 is high, but I still got to ask the question, damn, higher education, does it take you higher or does it just mean higher priced? Shit, but that's just out there. All right. But now, this is what's crazy. We got about 200,000 people in prison. We know statistically there are more black men and black women in jail than any other group. But just listen to this. African Americans make up a disproportionate amount of security services. That's saying that African Americans work mostly or more African Americans work in the security field than anywhere else. For me, this is a conundrum. America helped me figure this out. How is the motherfucker that you vilifying the picture of crime in America handling your security? Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Now, the next question I have, how many of those people involved in the security industry, i.e. security guards and shit like that, owe $36,000 because they went to college? Because it's hard out here. I know, it's hard to find a job out here. So a lot of people has come out of college going to security work, and we know that, they, toting guns in malls and shit like that. There's some other shit going on, but a majority of the workers are probably making about $10 to $12 an hour. Now, I want you to calculate how long it take to pay off $36,000 at $12 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Hell. Now, here's a shocker for you. Liquor stores outnumber bookstores by 3-1. Now, but they didn't give me the statistics about how many liquor stores are right next door to a church. That's what I want to know. If anybody got that information, feel free to text me and let me know. How many churches are right next door or across the street from a liquor store? How many of y'all see liquor stores when you come out of church? You talk about the end of the world, huh? I'm kicking it. So now, I'm gonna take you to another tune because this is a sad time. We gotta say bye to an old age and hello to a new age. And this is the way Brother Hatim gets down. So check out the next tune. I am back. I am back, and right now I'm looking at an app I got. So be on the lookout for Giami Journey app. It's coming out. You'll be able to have it straight on your phone. You get the blogs, get straight links to the website. You go to the videos and the Spreaker radio shows as well as the books. So be on the lookout for Giami Journey. I'd like to really thank you for listening in and checking this out. But the last thing I wanted to kind of hit on is one, I want you to always remember this. We spend a lot of our time trying to solve the mysteries of the universe and trying to figure out what's going on outside there. But we really start unleashing our power and talking about who we truly are when we realize that we are the mystery. And when we realize that we are the mystery, we become more powerful. You are the ultimate mystery of the universe. Now, enough of that for now. I'll get on that on another show after I do a 2 or 3 mile run and come back on that. Wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the massacre up in Newton, Connecticut, and how I'm viewing the whole piece, because I don't want to downgrade the tragedy. I don't want to make it as if it's not a tragedy, but it's kind of bothering me how the media is flipping this into a gun control issue. I don't understand. You gonna take guns from people? You want to take guns from people? Oh, I know some of y'all saying they're automatic weapons, but hell, American citizens will give up armed weapons when automatic weapons when the police give up their shit. How about the military? I don't even own a gun, but I enjoy having the right to be able to go buy whatever the fuck I can afford. You know what I'm saying? We need to keep it real. One of the major reasons that America has not really been invaded, or nobody really want to come and take America with all the resources we have, is that because we have an armed citizenry. I know some of y'all like this some right-wing shit, but this is the truth. Who wants to take over a nation where a bunch of motherfuckers own guns? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? We are safe because we have guns. I got a couple of friends that I could go borrow a gun from. Hell, I know where all the gun stores at. Shit. You know what I'm saying? I like having the freedom of being able to have guns. Now, I don't want to take away from the fact that we do got some lunatics out here with guns. But we also have some lunatics in politics that's doing just as much damage as some of these people going up into these schools or going up into the movie theaters. It's some of them that's driving some of these people crazy enough to go and do that shit. Got people out here acting like zombies. You know what I'm saying? People concerned about the end of the world when the shit that we got right now seem to be going up in the handbasket. But I'm gonna throw on another tune, and we're gonna go out on this one. Y'all heard this from me before, but I have become an avid fan of my man Fela Kuti. So here we go with Zombies. I'm starting it off not at the beginning. I'm starting it off so that you can hear some good parts. I will be tuning out after this. We're going to go out on Fela because I'm running out of time. But y'all have a good night, and thank you for joining me on the journey. For those people that was trying to call me, when you know I'm on the radio, why not just send the brother a text? Damn. But thank you for tuning in. I really enjoyed the journey, and I hope to see you soon. This is my Freestyle Friday show for the end of the world. And since the world in the end, I know I gotta wake up and pay them damn bills. Fela, peace.
Zombie, oh zombie. Zombie, oh zombie. Zombie, oh zombie. Zombie, oh zombie. Zombie not go unless you tell him to go. Zombie. Zombie not go stop unless you tell him to stop.
Zombie.
Zombie not go turn unless you tell him to turn.
Zombie.
Zombie not go think unless you tell him.
Don't be a zombie. Zombie.
Zombie, oh zombie. Zombie, oh zombie.
Zombie, oh zombie.
Zombie not go unless you tell him to go.
Zombie.
Zombie not go stop unless you tell him to stop.
Zombie. Don't be a zombie.
Unless you tell him
Peace.
to turn. Zombie not go think unless you tell him to think. Zombie, oh zombie. Zombie, oh zombie. Zombie, oh zombie. Tell him to go straight. Na joro jara joro. No break, no jam, no sense. Na joro jara joro. Tell him to go kill. Na joro jara joro. No break, no jam, no sense. Na joro jara joro. Tell him to go quench. Na joro jara joro. No break, no jam, no sense. Na joro jara joro. Go and kill. Go and die. Go and quench. Put up all the verse. Go and quench, and quench.